Yo, sometimes life calls for a change. Not fake, just different. It'll show you a different way. And right now, I'm on to my different way. I can promise you this is the same Spann, but the reporting is over. I'd like to welcome you to the Mr. Spann Official Podcast. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Spann Official Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Spann. This is episode number 45 of the show. And yeah, man, we are here on a Sunday afternoon, man. We are getting it in early. We're not waiting until later tonight because your man Spann got shit to do tonight, man. I'm going to be doing some highfalutin, important shit tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner tonight. And ironically, President Joe Biden is going to be there. Oh, yeah. That's breaking news. Yeah, so we got that going on, man. I got that going on, and I got some family reunion planning stuff that I got to do. So I got a real, like, my plate is full today. So we gonna get the podcast in because we got some shit to talk about with the stuff that's going on in the world, right? But of course, before we do that, I gotta remind you guys how to get in touch with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and let your voice be heard. Go ahead and hit up that hotline at area code 313-288-0485. There's area code 313-288-0485. Leave us those voicemail messages. Those messages will get played here live on the show and responded to in kind. And if you're watching us live here on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, man, go ahead and hit up that hotline and chop it up with your man Spann live, man. Get that phone call in and we can chop it up. Area code 313-288-0485. You can also email us here at feedback@thespannreport.com. That's feedback@thespannreport.com. Go ahead and leave us those emails. And of course, those emails are good right here and reply to here live as well. Follow me on all of the social medias, man. I'm Mr. Spann everywhere. It's on Threads, Twitter, Instagram, Spill, although I'm not very much on Spill or Twitter. But if you want to reach out to your man Spann, hit me up in those ways, man. Mr._Spann. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. Also, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and or Spotify. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get read here live on the show. We really appreciate everybody who goes about the business of doing that. Doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network in its entirety, right? And yo, if you're listening to us via Spotify, we do have polls on Spotify. We have question and answer sessions over there on Spotify. So contribute to the conversation in that way, man. We really appreciate everybody who does that, right? And also, if you want to support us by getting yourself some merch, man, get yourself a t-shirt, get yourself a coffee mug or a hoodie or something like that, man. Go to our TeePublic store, teepublic.com. Search up the Spann Report Podcast Network over there, and you'll catch up on all of our gear, man. All of our stuff is over there, and we really appreciate everybody who does that. I'm right now, as far as the website is concerned, I'm in the middle of like switching the website over to a whole different host, man, because me and GoDaddy been having some issues for a while. So I'm fed up with GoDaddy. I'm about to go somewhere else, GoDaddy, and go put my website somewhere else. So right now I'm not even promoting the website, but if you want to go over there and copy yourself some merch, it's teepublic.com and search up the Spann Report Podcast Network. The link will be in the show notes, right? So yeah, we got that going on, man. But yo, man, I'm gonna get right into it because like I said, we got some things to kind of get into. We got a lot of breaking news that's been happening. And the first breaking news that we got is Diddy, man, caught on video beating the hell out of Cassie, yo. Yeah, man. So CNN obtained exclusive video of Diddy assaulting Cassie at the Intercontinental in California. I'm not going to play that video. I'm sure some of you have already seen the video. You don't really need to see the video to understand that, like, yo, he really does. He kicks her. He pulls her down by her hair, man. He drags her on the floor, man. It was a lot to watch. It was a lot to fucking watch to see that man do that. And he did all of this while holding basically a bath towel around him to keep, he was basically naked while he was doing that. And so, that video went public, and, by and large, folks were, shocked and appalled by what they saw, and rightfully so. And, it's one of those things where, unfortunately, for a lot of people, some people need, to be able to visually see something happening before they could believe that something happened. Right. And so for a lot of those folks, that was what got them on board with, maybe Diddy ain't really about shit, man. Maybe he's been, there's this love facade that he's been putting out has been a smokescreen in order to, kind of divert attention away from what may be coming. Right. And so we remember last fall, back in November, Cassie had come out, and she basically sued him for sexual assault, for physical assault, and also accused him of making her or forcing her to have sex with other individuals. And when this motherfucker settled that case so fast, my nigga, settled it quick, bro. Like the ink didn't dry on the printer, bro, before he was already settling that case. And I think for a lot of people, that was the implication or the indication that a lot of people had. Were like, yeah, something really, really was going on between the two of them, where he just wanted to get out ahead of this and not have any of this stuff come out, right? And so also, people started looking into some of the other things that he had been doing as of recently, where he started allowing some of his former artists to have their masters and stuff back. He was going to give them, access to their music and ownership of their music, but they had to sign NDAs in order for that deal to be valid. And you have to wonder, why do they have to sign NDAs in order for them to get ownership of their music? Like, it was like the whole idea of having your people sign NDAs, these non-disclosures. You can't talk about anything that happened while you were part of the label. And we've all, for those of us who've grown up on Bad Boy from the 90s and everything else, it's always been an air of impropriety when it came to, Diddy and, the way he has reportedly treated his artists, right? There's so many people who thought that, like, not even just thought, but like, yo, man, Shine, basically took a charge for Diddy and ended up getting deported from the country after that club shooting where he had Jennifer Lopez with him. You think about how a lot of folks kind of look at, Diddy damn near sacrificing Biggie Smalls and using that to propel himself as an artist, right? Like, a lot of people feel that way. And so then you think about all of the artists who went broke fucking with Diddy, whether you're talking about what's this dude's name? Craig Mack, whether you're talking about Craig Mack, whether you're talking about Black Rob, whether you're talking about some of the artists in like 112. Like, there's so many different artists who had associations with Bad Boy, where people just like, I don't know if y'all really want to sign with them. Like, I get it. And then even to the point where folks were like talking about the folks from what was that, Making the Band, when he had those different variations of Making the Band. It's like, yeah, they really want it bad if they going to they fucking with Diddy and getting on this TV show to be a part of the industry or whatever, because he just did not have a very good reputation business wise up until that point, right? And so there's been a lot of smoke, and a lot of people have been feeling a very antagonistic sort of way towards Diddy, man. Like, I remember, like, if you guys are familiar with the art of dialogue on YouTube, like that particular channel, I remember at one time I was like, man, is this channel just about people who want to talk about Tupac? Because it seemed like that's what that channel, it was always people who was talking about Tupac or whatever. But then he's also had people like Gene Deal, and Gene Deal has been like, for years, talking cash shit about Diddy. And then you also had people, I think there was another artist, he wrote a book about Diddy some years ago. It's called Dancing with the Devil. I'm forgetting the name of the author of that book now. But that book came out some years ago, and he had some scathing things to say about Diddy and some of his actions and things of that nature. So there have been a lot of things to come out about Diddy, but this particular video coming out at this juncture. A lot of folks who would normally just be, man, we don't know, man, they signed the non-disclosure, so we just speculated and everything else. And yeah, that may be true, but like I said, when it came to how quickly he settled that case with Cassie, folks were like, I wonder what's up with that, right? And then we find out why. Right. Then we find out why. And some folks, I kind of believe that like this was video that her lawyers may have obtained when they, came up with the lawsuit. And that's part of the reason why. Outside, they probably had some other evidence, too, that they could go public with. And he didn't want anybody to go, to know that these were the things that he was doing behind closed doors. But yeah, man, that's going on. But we also have some more breaking news on this. So Diddy done came out with a goddamn apology, y'all. He done came out with an apology. And he released this probably about 2 hours ago. I'm getting this story here from the Hollywood Reporter. Let's go to the actual website, Pocket, because you're not showing me everything. Because I believe we do have actual video of this apology, and we will show the video of the apology. We will not show the video of him, whooping on that girl. But we read this here, comes out of the Hollywood Reporter, says that Sean Diddy Combs apologized on Sunday morning for a recently surfaced 2016 video, which shows him allegedly attacking his ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura. It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times of your life, but sometimes you got to do that, Diddy said on Instagram. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. So that seems to be what he said in the video. Let me go ahead and pull the video up so you guys can watch right along with your mans. Hold on just a second while I do this here. Let's get this where we need it to be. All right. And let's do that. And we're going to add that. Boom. And let's see what this nigga's talking about, y'all.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
All right, so that's the video, right? First things first, I'm looking at some of the shit in the background. Is this nigga in Bali with Russell Simmons, right? Did this motherfucker get up out the country? Because I know there's a lot of people who right here would like really probably want to put hands on that man for what they saw him do to that woman in that video, right? But also, let's talk about this thing about therapy and rehab and stuff like that. I wonder, and I just wonder if, that was part of a public relations ploy, to try to, garner some sympathy on his behalf. And someone told him, hey man, you got to get in front of this. You're kind of behind it now, but like, hey, you got to say something. You can't just let this shit sit out here like this. You got to say something, but here are the things that you need to say that may garner you some level of support, some level of sympathy. Because I think, there's this thing now where people have the language to explain away bad behavior all the time. Right. It's one of the reasons why when it comes to Kanye West, man, when we see some of the shit that Kanye goes out here and does and people talk about his mental health issues, I'm like, yeah, but like, I don't know what like when it comes to mental health, does mental health make you racist? Does mental health make you illiterate? I don't think it makes you those things. And oftentimes when people are engaging in terrible fucking behavior, one of the first things that, they will try to trot out is that like, yeah, man, I've been dealing with some mental issues. I've been dealing with some, some psychological things. And so that will explain away some of the behaviors that I engaged in before. And I don't like that. I just don't like that, especially for people who are really and sincerely dealing with some issues. I think that that's a bit cynical, and I think it's a bit crass in order to like put that out there. Now, that's the other part about that is this. The flip side of that is this. I don't know. He probably did do all of those things. He probably did go to therapy. He probably did go to rehab. I'm just saying how it appears to me when you bring it out at this juncture, right? Why haven't we heard about you going to rehab up until this point? Why haven't we heard you going into therapy up until this point? Why did it take this video coming out for you to even acknowledge that you had some issues and that you were trying to get right? Right. Like, and that's the thing. It took this to come out for you to say that you had these things going on. And that's part of the reason why I think a lot of people are looking at this particular apology. And like I said, this has only been out for a couple hours now. But like, I think a lot of folks will be looking at this apology and they're like, yeah, you're apologizing now. And it's not even so much about you apologizing because you are sincerely, sorry for what you did, but more so you're sorry that you got caught and people are seeing you doing some of the shit that you were doing while you were out here on social media with pictures of your babies, with your baby girls, pictures with tributes to your kids' moms and things like that. Like, people are seeing this and they're like, they feeling as though that you were trying to manipulate public perception of who you are as a person, right? You were trying to manipulate that, and folks are going to feel a certain way about it. And so, yeah, man, like the fact that he came, like that video dropped like a fucking bomb on social media. And when I say on all of social media, when you start seeing here's the other part that I thought was, like, you start seeing this shit everywhere. It was on Threads, it was on Instagram, it was on Twitter, it was on Facebook, it was on, it was every fucking where, right? Now, the other part about it that I think is interesting is that, unfortunately there will be, as there always are, there's going to be a contingent of folk who still feel like, despite the fact that we've seen this motherfucker do this, will still feel as though this is another attempt to tear down another prominent black man.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no wonder you get D's and everything.
They're going to feel that way. And like, even seeing this video, I saw a couple comments on Facebook the other day where this one dude was talking about, well, what was in those bags? What was she stealing from him that would make him do that to her? Like, yo, like, you literally just saw this man assault her and you thought it was because she was stealing something from him, making it again her fucking fault that he was assaulting her on video, right? Like, there's always going to be that contingent of folk, and unfortunately, sometimes around these sort of issues, like, they get a little loud. You're going to see a lot of the whataboutisms. You're going to see a lot of well, what about this white man that did this? It's like, hey man, what about them? And again, I always go back to this, like, yo, when we find ourselves, when we find people within our own community acting up in real fucked up ways, we can't keep deflecting to, well, what about the white man? Hey, no, we got to handle our shit within our own community also. We can't keep worrying about whether the white man ain't shit, right? Like, yeah, he can be ain't shit, but we ain't supposed to just be ain't shit with him, right? Hey, man, handle our shit within our own community. And so, yeah, man, like, that's just a flip side of that. You're going to see a lot of that. And you got to kind of ignore these dumb motherfuckers. Real talk, because every time I see these motherfuckers, I'm thinking,
who are these niggas? We need to stay away from these niggas.
We need to stay away from these niggas because these niggas don't have our better interests at heart. They're only concerned with, protecting black folks in the sense of, well, I'll say this. There's a contingent of black people who think that we should just be doing some like, equality is us being just as fucked up as the people that are dominant in American society. If these white people could be this fucked up, we should be able to be that fucked up too. And if we are, I'm of the mindset that, like, yeah, they fucked up. We have some people in our community that are fucked up. All of the asses need to be punished. I'm not about to, like, not try to hold accountable those within our community because the other people in that other community aren't holding their people accountable. Like, that's stupid to me. That's just fucking stupid. So, yeah, man. What do you guys thoughts on this dude's apology? Whether or not you think it's sincere, whether or not you thought it should have come out early, whether or not what are your thoughts on him not being charged with anything right now at this point? Now I know with this particular case, this video supposedly allegedly was from 2016, and so the statute of limitations have been have passed on any charges that could be filed about this particular assault. But do you think that there could be other footage of him behaving in, aggressive ways, in the ways in which he was acting towards Cassie in that video? Do you think that there are any more videos of him acting in this way? And do you think that because that video is now out, some of these other people who were associated with Diddy will start breaking some of these NDAs and just coming out and telling their stories? Right? Because I think that's another thing that we have to, to look out for is like, somebody gonna be like, hey man, all right, fuck this NDA. I might lose, whatever, but I can tell my story now, because it's not as if people don't know that this dude was out here doing this shit now, and I can say something. So yeah, man, you got that going on, man. Diddy is first caught on tape assaulting Cassie, and then issuing an apology on Instagram, man. So we got that going on. Let's see. That's another story we got going on here. Let me take this down. Okay, so let's see. We talked a little bit about this on episode 44 of this Mr. Spann report. Mr. Spann report. Mr. Spann Official. We talked about this on episode 44, but Vivek Ramaswamy had Ann Coulter on his show about a week ago, where essentially she told that dude, who was a Republican candidate for president, that as much as she agreed with him on many of the issues that he brought up as a presidential candidate, that she would not vote for him because he was a goddamn Indian. She wasn't gonna vote for him because he's Indian, right? And he, like, Vivek Ramaswamy has been one of those people who's really leaned into the racist ideal that, like, if I just lean into just being American, then all these other things don't count. Like you being black and having some black disparities happening in your community, that doesn't count. You're just buying into the victim mentality. You're buying into victimhood and everything else, right? And so, like, when someone asked him during a campaign stop what he thought about Juneteenth, he talked about it being a ridiculous holiday. He thought about it being just made up and everything else, so we don't need it. It's more divisive than anything. It's like, we already got the 4th of July, as if slaves were free during the 4th of July, which is why Juneteenth was significant to a lot of folk. But here's the thing though. So Ann Coulter goes on his show and essentially to his face tells him, yeah, I agree with you, but I would never vote for you because you're Indian. And I'm sure that had to be a slap in the face to him, but he tried to play that off. And he went on another right-wing leaning podcast. What was that? Patrick Bet David, right? Now, Patrick Bet David, he oftentimes tries to lean into the idea that, I don't take sides, right? He really tries to, I don't take sides, but he'll ask leading questions that which side he's on. And then if the person that he's having the conversation with flips it back onto him to ask him to answer anything, he really likes to deflect as if he doesn't have he doesn't want to divulge what his real position is. It's like, bro, we already know, like, just fucking say it. Like, this is stupid, right? But Vivek Ramaswamy went on his show and basically admitted that racism in the Republican Party is actually a little bit more widespread than he would have thought, than he would have admitted to before.
I'll be a monkey's bare-assed uncle.
Yeah, man. So we get this video. This comes, this article comes out of Mediaite. It says that Vivek Ramaswamy told Patrick Bet-David that there are a lot more voters than he expected to agree with conservative commentator Ann Coulter's declaration to his face that she could never have voted for him because of his Indian heritage. Ramaswamy joined Patrick Bet-David this week on the Patrick Bet-David podcast and offered some more thoughts on Coulter's words, saying that he believes such beliefs are widespread in the United States, but far from the majority. Okay. Yeah, let's get to the video, because there is video. There's a lot of advertisements on this shit here. But let me pull this video up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Hold on just a second while I pull that up. And let's do this here. Boom. Let's see what they're talking about here real quick.
it on social media or in other ways to be able to, it's kind of boring to just talk about everybody who agrees with the same thing.
Right.
But let's get a little bit of tension from the left, from the right. So I'll bring Ann Coulter on because during the campaign, I don't remember what exactly she said, but on numerous instances would comment on different ways in which I might not be quite qualified to be president, right? So let's get her on and have a conversation. And both of us are interested in the theme of nationalism. I did not expect she would just kick it off right there, get right into the business. And I think it actually made for a really good conversation, believe it or not. Of course, I disagree with hell like her.
See, that's the other part, right? I didn't expect for it to, lean into such a great conversation. He's all about this idea that you can tolerate listening to people. And this is the thing that a lot of people on the right wing, they like to say, right? Because they like to believe that, you can have conversations with people who have abhorrent beliefs. And even if you don't agree with these people's beliefs, you should hear them out, right? I believe that that's complete and utter bullshit. If there's somebody who's talking some complete and utter bullshit, especially as it revolves around me, my people, my culture, or whatever, I'm not obligated to listen to this motherfucker. I'm not obligated to give this person my attention. I'm not obligated to amplify that person whatsoever. I don't have to subject anybody else to the bullshit coming out of their mouth. And I think what we've had over the course of the last few years, especially with the democratization of, the media when it comes to independent broadcasters, whether it comes to your podcast, YouTube channels or whatever else, people have now been able to kind of amplify voices that would have normally been non-existent, right? We all know the neighborhood weirdo who would be spouting some bullshit and people would just walk right past his ass while he talking this bullshit. But now that neighborhood weirdo just goes into his basement or goes into a spare room in his house, sort of like your boy. and he can just get on here and he can find community with other people on the internet. And now those voices get amplified because they found each other. They have community now. And so, again, like I said, Vivek Ramaswamy, he's leaning into that whole idea. We've got to listen to these people. We've got to listen to these people. And I'm of the mindset nah, fuck those people. I ain't got to listen to shit they saying. Right now, in the strength of, because of the nature of what it is that I do here with the podcast, oftentimes I find myself listening to some of these things, oftentimes just so I'm aware of what these folks are talking about. So when policy, because some of these things affects policy, some of these things affect the things that, especially in politics, start affecting some of the things that we really do have to deal with in our everyday lives, like gun legislation, like women's right to choose for their own bodies, like the ability for certain books to be in schools. When you start listening to how those people are viewing these things and how that affects whether or not these other things happen, you kind of want to know what they're talking about so you can kind of either call it out and fight against it, right? Call it out and fight against it. But he's been talking this shit as if, his thing has been, I'm going to lean into being an American. I'm going to lean into being an American because if I lean into being an American, all these other things don't matter because we're all American. And what, Ann Coulter disabused him of was that she just basically disabused him of that entire notion because your culture and your race does mean something here in America. And despite the fact that I agree with everything you might say policy wise, simply because you were born in the wrong skin color, I could not see myself voting for you.
On that being a criteria to be the U.S. president is her description of whether or not you're an Indian. I'm born in the United States. I'm as American as they come. But I thought it actually formed a really strong basis for an honest conversation that we otherwise don't have. Because her view is that in order to actually be a U.S. president, you got to be even more American, right? So you're not fully American if your parents weren't from the United States of America. And in order to trust somebody, the more generations they've been here, let's say you've been here 6 or 7 generations, you have more of what she would call, I think she did call it in the podcast, a security policy. It's like an insurance policy that that if you're going to put somebody in that high office, at least you know that they've really, really soaked up what it means to be American. Now, I disagree with that. Because you have people in the 7th generation Americans who are...
That also made Patrick David feel a little bit uncomfortable with that notion because he's also not of American descent. I believe he's of some Middle Eastern. He's of Middle Eastern descent, and he's an immigrant also, or at least his parents are immigrants also. So yeah, that would also make him a bit uncomfortable, as you saw in that little clip right there, where they actually slipped the camera over to him. Yeah, because he also espoused a lot of the bullshit that Vivek Ramaswamy is on. I'm about this Americanism. I'm about this cash, baby, and that makes me, and I lean more towards this conservative stuff, but. Even what they're finding out is, yeah, you're not fucking special. Y'all are useful idiots. We will use you guys in order to like kind of, divide and conquer, votes within your community to gain power for ourselves. But ultimately, when it comes to, like breaking bread with power with you, we don't want to share that with you. We want to use you guys in order to obtain power, but we do not want you guys to obtain power for yourselves or your community.
The kids of I've known many of these people, grow up in the Upper East Side. Some daughter who lives in Brooklyn thinks she's a hippie, talks about hating this country. Well, I don't think that person's any more American than I am just because my parents happen to have been legal immigrants to this country.
So I got two questions for you.
But it made for good conversation.
I got two questions for you with this, okay? On one end, how many people you think are like, if you were to say, of the voters block, what percentage of the voter block agrees with her?
So say in the Republican primary?
In the Republican primary to say, you know what, question. I'm not going to, even if it's 1%, 2%, 3%, what do you think it is?
So
notice how he tried to make that a very small percentage. 1%, 2%, 3%. No, motherfucker, is much larger.
I will tell you this with confidence. It is a lot higher than I believed it was a year ago.
Interesting.
No shit. No shit. Meanwhile, he's been spouting this bullshit about, hey man, it's about the nationalism. If I had told you a year ago, I wouldn't have believed there's this much racism in the Republican Party. And all the while black people, Hispanic people all over the nation been saying, yeah, it's racist over there. Now you're like, I believe there's a little bit more of that than I believed a year ago. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And it's a lot higher than I believe you would think it is, too.
Interesting.
Which is why, and I said this on social media, and some people hit me on the left from it, I said I respect her for saying it, even though I disagree. Right? Because at least she has the spine to say in public what many other people, not a majority, not even close to a majority, but a lot of people. She's not alone. She is voicing a view that I think is widespread. And, actually,
all right. So, yeah. She's voicing a view that is widespread, and I got hit on the left with it because I respect that she had the guts to say it. Motherfucker, they've been saying it for the longest. They've been saying it out in public for the fucking longest. Like, the fact that you act as though you didn't see this stuff is what's funny to the rest of us. Like, we've all been telling you this shit for the longest. Like, hey man, what are you doing over there? Right? Like, why are you doing this? It's actually the same thing when you start seeing people like Lawrence Taylor show up at a Trump rally. When you start seeing people like Kwame Kilpatrick showing up at a Trump rally. When you saw how they trotted out Diamond and Silk. When you saw how they some of the legislation that they were forwarding, some of the books that they were trying to ban in the schools. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Right? They are actively going after minorities and people of color across this nation with policy and legislation, and you're acting as though you don't see this stuff, and as if those communities are overreacting over some of the things that they're seeing. It's like, come on, man, get the fuck out of here, bro. But yeah, man, Vivek Ramaswamy essentially admitting inadvertently that there's a lot more racism in the GOP than I would have thought about a year ago before I started running for president, man. So yeah, man, we got that going on, man. Damn, Vivek Ramaswamy got his Indian wake up call, we should say. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, so let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about this. I saw this story here on I saw something about this on Threads, because I'm not really on TikTok as much, right? But I saw this is something that was trending on TikTok. And there's this thing called the black wife effect. And apparently it's going viral over there, man. God damn! Yeah, it's going viral over there. They are really talking about this. And it's essentially a trend where black women it's about black women who have spouses of other races, and whether or not they are basically up in the swag on these motherfuckers, so to speak. So we get this story here. This comes out of yahoo.com. It says the black wife effect viral trend shows that white men getting a much needed glow up has us shook. It says, we've been trying to tell you for the longest just how amazing black women are. Now there's a new social media trend that's giving all the proof. A quick online search of the black wife effect will produce countless videos of mostly white and Asian men showing how their black wives were single-handedly responsible for their glow up. Without a doubt, these women are working some serious black girl magic on their men, adding their secret sauce to their style. Only a black woman could turn this. Okay, so I guess I need to share this so you guys can see this. Let me pull this up. Let's pull this up. Let's see what, let's do this here. Boom. Okay. Could turn this. Okay. So there's this white dude in plain white t-shirt, redhead guy, got a little fade going on, sitting on like one of those exercise balls, into this. And he's got on some gradient shade sunglasses. He's got a full beard. He's wearing an overshirt with some, what looks like khaki pants. And he's got his little, his daughter with him, I suppose. So yeah, I guess that's a glow up. I mean, I guess. It said, but TikTok user basically Betsy 2.0 argues that the trend is so much more than about haircuts and new outfits. She sees the trend as another example of the ways in which black women are nurturers by nature. For me, when I'm watching the black wife effect, what I'm thinking is that everything black women touch, they elevate. And that's not just on a partner scale. That's on a societal scale, she said. The fascinating thing is not that they look better, their style is better, but like you can visibly see their confidence got better. And that's not like a physical change. That's something of being properly cared for. You can seriously lose a day before watching before and after transformations of white men who went from geek to chic with a little assistance from their black wives. So because we know you don't have that kind of time, we picked out some of our favorite black wife effect transformations. Okay, so they got a few transformations. We're not gonna go through that shit. But yeah, man. So I saw that this was trending on Twitter, and like, basically from reading this article, they have a pretty positive spin on this. I don't know. I feel a way about it. I'm sorry. I feel a way about it. As a matter of fact,
what the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn! What? Fuck!
And yeah. I don't know. So trust me when I tell you, I don't have any issues with how people date. I don't care how, who you date, man. If you love them and they are treating you well, then by all means, man, I hope and pray that y'all have love, life, happiness, and abundance of children if you so want them. The entire thing, man. Real talk. I just think that, like, to some degree, this would be received differently if the roles were reversed. If there was a trending topic on social media and there were some brothers talking about, the white wife effect and, how these white women were like changing their lives for the better and all this other stuff. And rightfully so, there will be sisters upset about that shit. Like, again, it becomes one of those things where, like, yo, man, yeah, people like nobody's upset with you that you are dating interracially. Right. I think that's for the most part, because every time I hear brothers talk that shit about sisters being upset that they are dating interracially, like, no, they're not mad about you dating interracially. What they're mad about is that you using your dating interracially to put them down in particular. Right. And so it becomes one of those things where, like, hey, man, they don't care whether or not you got a white woman, date your white woman, love your white woman, have family with your white woman. They don't give a fuck. But when you start using that white woman to belittle them, that's when that's when folks have issues. And so I think that if we saw, black dudes with the white wife effect, and they start talking about how this is showing how white women are nurturing and all this other, I believe that people would have a problem with that. I do. Now, that's not to say that, these people and like these dudes having like a bit of a glow up, it isn't, I mean, I guess it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, like, I think in social media, just because it's on the social media scale, I think that people are going to receive it. And of course they're going to receive it based on where they are in regards to how they feel about interracial dating to begin with, right? There are going to be people who feel a certain kind of way, like, man, you know, they just gonna feel a way, whether they are for interracial dating, whether they're against interracial dating. They're gonna be people who feel a way. We getting this here from The Root. And I think they put a very positive spin on this. And they even talked about how they had some of their favorite transformations of some of these white dudes or whatever else. And I guess that's cool. But just something in how I know social media to be, right? Because we're talking about how social media receives this. I think a lot of times folks out in the real world don't give a fuck about what's going on social media. But just because of how social media could be, I could see this not being received well. If there were a different type of, if we had just flipped the roles on this one. Real talk. That's just kind of how I feel about it. You know, let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. But the black wife effect, man, like apparently the black women are out here, you know, styling up these white cats, styling up these Asian cats. They styling up the brothers too. If we gonna be honest with you, hey, had a black wife effect with the brothers too. You know what I'm saying? Because I done seen a lot of brothers who done got married. Like, hey, man, like, damn, nigga, you look good, dog. Like, man, like your wife done hooked you up. You done finally cut your hair, huh? You done finally cut that shit off. It took for her to tell you to cut that shit off when you finally decided to cut that shit off. Good. Man, let me go talk to my sister because I need to thank her because, nigga, we wasn't going out with you no more after the last time, right? Saw that. Show these black wives effect with the brothers too, right? And I think that might, you know, that might kind of calm down any kind of criticism that this social media trend is having, right? So we got that going on. Another thing that we got going on here. So Whoopi Goldberg defends Harrison Butker. Excuse me.
Not never.
Yeah, man. So Whoopi Goldberg, of course, we talked about Harrison Butker on episode 44. He's the kicker from the Kansas City Chiefs who went on a commencement speech, and he talked about how basically women just need to keep their asses in the kitchen and keep making babies and not be out here working jobs.
Oh man, hey.
Yeah, so Whoopi Goldberg actually had something to say in defense of Harrison Butker, and we're going to read this here. This comes out of awfulannouncing.com. Let me see. Do they have video attached to this? Let's see if they have any video with this, because I believe this was her speaking on The View, and they might have a clip of it. Let's see. Come on, load up. Come on, Comcast, do your thing. Now I pay y'all good money for y'all to give me some good speeds. Okay, so we read the story here. This comes out of Awful Announcing. It says, at a time when Harrison Butker is hard-pressed to find many media members or outlets defending his controversial college commencement speech, the Kansas City Chiefs kicker found an unlikely ally in Whoopi Goldberg. Butker sparked outrage last weekend while speaking to an audience of graduates at Benedictine College, a private Catholic school in Kansas. During the commencement speech, Butker made remarks that were widely criticized for being transphobic, homophobic, and sexist. Butker ranted against abortion, IVF, and surrogacy. He claimed that Pride Month represents deadly sins and alleged that women have had the most diabolical lies told to them. Butker proceeded to encourage the graduating women sitting in front of him to forego their career aspirations to be a housewife and a mother. The NFL condemned Butker's speech, noting his message of seclusion was given in his own personal capacity and does not align with the league's views. While many have criticized Butker's speech, Whoopi Goldberg came to his defense Thursday morning on The View, comparing the Chiefs kicker to Colin Kaepernick kneeling for social justice during the national anthem.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no wonder you get D's and everything.
Like, real talk, I really feel like everybody on The View, when that clip came out, should have just been like, man,
Delete all that shit. Let's play with you, piggy.
delete all that shit, man. Real talk. But we're gonna listen to what Whoopi Goldberg had to say. So I'm gonna pull this video up so you guys can watch right along with me here. Just a second here while I pull this up. Boom. All right, let's see what Whoopi Goldberg is talking about. Let's hear from her.
So the NFL released a statement that he gave this speech in his personal capacity, and the NFL does not share his views. So, listen, I like when people say what they need to say. He's at a Catholic college. Yeah. He's a staunch Catholic. These are his beliefs, and he's welcome to them. I don't have to believe him.
Right.
I don't have to accept them. The ladies that were sitting in that audience do not have to accept them. The same way we want respect when Colin Kaepernick takes a knee, Right. We want to give respect to people whose ideas are different from ours, because the man who says he wants to be president, you know who?
Yeah.
He says the way to act is to take away people's right to say how they feel. We don't want to be that. We don't want to be those people. So I'm okay with him saying whatever he says, and the women who are sitting there, if they take his advice, good for them, they'll be happy. If they don't, good for them, they'll be happy a different way. Well, that's my attitude.
So
All right. So again, this goes back to some of the shit that we were talking about when it comes to Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Where there's this thing that happens where there's this bit of, there's like this asymmetrical level of civility and decorum that they believe that people on the right and the left should have, right? Oftentimes, what people on the right are advocating for is the curtailing of rights for others, right? And basically consolidating those rights into a select few group of people so that they can exert, their influence and their power over that already marginalized group of folks, right? There's an asymmetrical thing there where they get to say these things and we're supposed to just, well, it's our freedom of speech, right? Now, here's the other part, and I hate this shit because it keeps coming up. Freedom of speech is just you not being jailed by your government for your disagreement with government policy, right? Now, that doesn't mean that consequences don't come down on you in other ways, right? People don't have to agree with what you're saying, and they can also express their disagreement with the shit that you're saying, sort of like how we're doing right now here on this podcast. I'm disagreeing with them, right? I'm not talking about my freedom of speech, though, because my freedom of speech is, hey, the government can't persecute me for some of the things that I say on this microphone. That's what my freedom of speech is. It's not, hey, freedom of speech protects me from criticism of some of the things that I say on this microphone. Freedom of speech does not protect Harrison Butker for people disagreeing with him and having things to say about the things that he said on the microphone. Now, the other thing that I thought was interesting is, like, in her comparison to what he said and Colin Kaepernick is, hey, Harrison Butker still has a job in the NFL. Colin Kaepernick is still out of the league. Did she miss that? Harrison Butker is on a Super Bowl winning team. Colin Kaepernick can't get a fucking tryout with an NFL team. It's been 6-7 years now. I don't think he can. I think his run is over. Like, it's been way past the expiration date on maybe an opportunity for him to come back now. Harrison Butker hasn't been blackballed by the NFL. Right. And we all saw how a lot of these NFL teams were saying that, well, and a lot of people on the right wing were saying, well, he wasn't that good to begin with. And that's the reason why these NFL teams weren't giving him a shot. And that was complete and utter bullshit. That was one way for them to cover up why these teams were not giving him an opportunity, despite the fact that the president of the United States was calling him a son of a bitch. Right now, there's also the idea that Harrison Butker was speaking to the further marginalization of women who at the time were getting their college degrees, right? These women were, they were educated. They were seeking, some of them are seeking probably some more education, probably post-secondary education, getting their master's, getting their doctorates. Some of them are probably going into some very competitive and highly functional positions out in the workforce. And so for them to be at their graduation and have a man stand up there and tell them, like, yeah, fuck all that education you just got, go home and make some babies and make sure you raise up these kids. And this is part of the reason why they want them to, like, roll back these abortion rights, right? Because they want these women to be barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, right? They don't even want them to vote, right? But go home and be a housemaid, or what's the word? A housewife. Go home and just be a housewife, And so yeah, man. I think it's the curtailing of these women's voices, and it's the curtailing of these women's agency that the people were speaking up against. But like Colin Kaepernick was speaking to, hey, police out here killing us, right? And they are getting away with it. They're getting paid leave. A lot of the time they're getting vacation, and then there's an investigation. The investigation comes back and says the police officer was acting in his capacity as a police officer, and therefore he's right back on duty. He didn't do anything wrong, and he has qualified immunity, so you can't sue the motherfucker. Like, it's a whole bunch of shit going on here that isn't right, and that's part of the reason why the Black Lives Matter movement was so large, and why when George Floyd was killed, that the reaction to it was so big, was because we are watching the impunity with which the police were operating in. And here we got this guy talking about, hey, yeah, y'all women need to just go ahead and be in the kitchen and have babies and fuck this education shit that y'all got going on, despite the fact that I'm at a graduation full of y'all, and y'all have probably more education than I do right now. Right? Those are not the same thing. They are not the same thing. And so when I talk about this asymmetrical sort of way in which people are operating, like, people on the right think that they could just say anything to anybody and nobody is supposed to respond to them with the level of vitriol that they are spewing, right? Which leads us into our next story. Because yo, man, I saw this shit and I couldn't believe what the fuck it was I was looking at, man. I couldn't believe it. So, man, this is, I mean, shit. We should not be entertained by the House Oversight Committee. I don't think anybody in their right mind had, hey, man, some entertaining, like, crazy shit was happening in the House Oversight Committee, man. You got to catch this show. You got to catch it. But yeah, man, this happened in the House Oversight Committee. So apparently there was a House Oversight Committee meeting where apparently what was on the table was the House Oversight Committee was trying to seek to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt, right? But for whatever reason, Marjorie Taylor Greene and a bunch of Republicans took their asses up to New York to be supportive of Donald Trump and his criminal hush money trial in New York, right? So they, a lot of them have been going up there. This is one of the ways in which the Trump administration has been trying to, or not the administration, but the campaign has been trying to get around the gag order that has been put on Donald Trump, because he's not able to speak on certain things when in regards to his case, in regards to certain people administering this case, like the judge and whatnot, right? And so a lot of these surrogates have been like, well, we're not under any sort of gag order, so we can go out here and say the things that Donald Trump isn't allowed to say, right? So they're gonna go up. They've been showing up in New York, and they've been having these press conferences, and they've been saying how much of a travesty this is. They've been saying how much Joe Biden is responsible for this particular prosecution, despite the fact that there was a grand jury of people in New York who decided who to indict Donald Trump on this, despite the fact that it was Alvin Bragg who brought the charges. It had nothing to do with fucking Joe Biden. But this is the narrative that they've been out here weaving for the longest time, right? They like, that's the one thing about the Republicans, or at least like they are really good at messaging, and then they also know that they have a rapt audience who is going to believe and hold on to all of the shit that they're saying. Like, when you start looking at some of the things that, like, if you ever watch videos of Trump supporters outside of a Trump rally, you start noticing, like, man, they are repeating the same shit over and over and over again that you see on social media, that you see on the news. Like, all of the talking points, they are very much indoctrinated with the talking points. And so that's what these surrogates have been going out here doing. They've been going out here in front of these cameras at this Trump trial, and they've been regurgitating these talking points, and they've been saying all of these things that Donald Trump isn't allowed to say, because Donald Trump is under a gag order when it comes to this trial, right? So some of them decided that they were going to go to that trial, which meant that, like, yo, the work that they were actually supposed to be doing at the House of Representatives, while they were supposed to be having this meeting about holding Merrick Garland in contempt, they pushed that meeting back until about 8 o'clock in the evening, when they should have had it about 11 o'clock that morning. So let's take that into consideration as to probably why people were so testy in this motherfucking meeting, right? Because it had been a long day, right? You ever been at work and you thought you were going to get off at 4, and then you look up and you ain't get off till about 7 because some shit popped off, and you're like, man, we can't leave. We got to get this shit done, or like the whole shit it's a whole thing. And so by the time you get around 7, 8 o'clock, you already mad that you got to be there. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, this some bullshit, bro. I could have been home washing my ass, man, with my feet up, with, watching the game, got a brew going, the whole thing. But it don't happen that way. So now you're a little irritated. You're a little pissed off, right? Your temper is a little short, right? So while they're having this meeting, some sparks flew. And the sparks flew was because Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene out of Georgia threw an a straight up unprovoked barb at Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett out of Texas. And so we got this video here. Let me pull this up so you guys can watch right along with me, because the sparks was flying up in this motherfucker, bro.
Does any other member seek recognition?
Mr.
Chair recognizes Ms. Greene.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Okay, so let me stop this real quick. But that's also another one of the talking points that is going on here, right? With the Trump campaign. The Trump campaign is suggesting that the judge in the trial, is conflicted because his daughter is supposedly an operative in Democratic circles and is fundraising to keep Donald Trump from being president of the United States, right? So what they're trying to assert is that, there are people within the Democratic Party who are paying the judge's daughter in order to facilitate, public sentiment against Donald Trump, right? And therefore, the judge in the case is conflicted and shouldn't even be, presiding over the case to begin with. This is their talking point that they've been running with.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about. I
think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
that's beneath
would
even
you
you
please regain order of your committee?
Order.
Please. There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch, state your point.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask the parliamentarian if your conduct here in raising money in connection with this hearing.
Here's the other part too that I think is very funny, man. Like, you could tell there's animosity towards everybody, but they got to keep up this air of decorum around them. So they're like, Mr. Chairman, and all this other shit, right? Point of order and all this other stuff. Is like, well, motherfuckers really, hey, motherfucker. Nah, they ain't doing that. They really trying to keep up this air of decorum, and it's fucking hilarious to me, bro.
Hearing is referable to the Ethics Committee within this hearing. Is a motion in order to refer your conduct and your abuse of
It's not a point of order.
Mr. I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aww.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl, I don't.
Oh, look. She hit him with the baby girl, bro, not the baby girl. Oh shit! Hey man, the Bronx is coming out of AOC, man. Like, that was straight up, like the Bronx. Like, hey, don't fuck around, fuck around and find out up in here, man. Real talk.
We are gonna move, and we're gonna take your words down.
I second that motion.
Ms. Greene, do you wish to strike your words?
I have 4 minutes and 21 seconds to speak.
I think we have to do the motion first, and then unless there's another motion, then you'll be recognized again. But I believe there's another motion coming. So, you agree to strike your words?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Greene agrees to strike her words.
I believe she needs to apologize. No.
Okay, hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Greene
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then you're
reserve
not
the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
Mr.
not
Perry.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman.
Now, here's another thing too that I thought was real strange, right? This is Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about, why don't you debate me? Marjorie Taylor Greene has been trying to debate AOC since before she got into Congress. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was like some years ago before the people in Georgia like decided to send this lady to Congress. She was on video chasing behind that one kid, David Hogg, who was one of the Parkland school kids who survived that school shooting, and he's been an advocate for safer gun control laws and things of that nature. She was like stalking this kid as he was walking the streets in Washington D.C., like asking him, who's paying for him to do this stuff, and why is he coming after law-abiding American rights to own guns and shit. Like, so when as a gun owner, when people like this are the ones who like are representative of like the responsible gun owner, like, man, what the fuck, bro? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like that sort of shit. Like, she irritates even us. Right? She irritates even us. But then there was also video of her going through the halls of Congress, and she found AOC's congressional office, and no one in the office would let her in. And instead, she just like starts talking, stuff to her through the mail slot in her congressional office, and she videotaped herself doing all of this shit. And even then, she was talking about, she should debate her. It's like, yo, you are obsessed with AOC. That's the thing that I think gets lost, is this woman is straight up obsessed with AOC and whether or not she should debate her. I think, there's a fixation there. There's a fixation there, and it really should be addressed by somebody. Seriously.
The
minority.
Pretty self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
out of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike the.
I move to strike the lady's
lady's words again.
Ms. Green, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike
right.
my words, but I'm not apologizing.
Without objection. So, Ms. Green asked unanimous consent to strike her words. Mr. Raskin objected. I'm going to recognize Mr. Raskin for his objection. No, we're not counting against Ms. Green. Has 4 minutes and 21 seconds left. This will not count against her time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I reserve the right to object because the understanding of the minority is that the gentlelady from Georgia would move to take her words down and strike her words and to offer a sincere apology for having engaged in personalities against another member, offending her personal appearance and insulting her. We don't do that in this committee. And I think the major problem was that we allowed pornography in this committee, and we've gone down a bad road. But in any event, we should not.
Yeah, and so when he talks about pornography, again, this all has something to do with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene brought unedited photos of Hunter Biden into that particular committee's hearings. While they've been trying to really tie Hunter Biden's actions as a private person to his father, and he had some, of course, but he had some rather spicy photos that he had on a computer and in his phones or whatever, and people were trying to associate that with Joe Biden. But Marjorie Taylor Greene decided that she was going to bring these photos of uncensored Joe Biden Hunter Biden would into a congressional hearing. And so it's become this constant devolving of what the quote unquote decorum of the House rules and shit. And so this is them saying, hey man, look, she not following the rules, man, and we can't keep glossing over this. She didn't apologize for that. She's not apologizing for this, and it's just gonna keep devolving the rules here. It's gonna get even worse because this lady is here, because she doesn't necessarily respect the rules. She doesn't abide by the rules, and we keep allowing her to get away with the shit.
Not allow face-to-face ad hominem insults. It's totally contrary to the rules of the House of Representatives. And I would ask Ms. Green if she would just make the apology. It's not that complicated. We don't want to get into face-to-face insults.
You will never get an apology out of me. I
object. I object, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Raskins object.
And also, this goes into the entire thing that I was talking about earlier about this asymmetrical way in which, decorum is supposedly being expected, right? So you have this woman who goes out, she says all these crazy things, and people are just supposed to, especially if you're someone on the right, you just think that you guys should just be able to take it. If you heard not AOC, but if you heard Marjorie Taylor Greene on here, she said, you guys can't handle the words, you guys are just being soft. You're being snowflakes and everything else. She's already being uncivil. And we're supposed to just accept that she's being uncivil. But if they're to be met with that same level of civility, or uncivility, so to speak. Suddenly, they are outraged that you had the audacity to meet them where they were, and that's where we're going to get Jasmine Crockett coming in here in a minute.
I think we don't want to see a complete dissent of our committee, and the verbatim quote. The verbatim quote of the gentlelady was, "I think your fake eyelashes are messing up your reading." That is what she said. I think your fake eyelash, and that's obviously engaging in personalities. It's an ad hominem attack, and I would just ask every member of this committee, in a fair-minded way, would you want to be talked to in that way about your personal appearance by another member of the committee? Because what we're doing is we're setting standards going forward.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
Hold up. Oh shit! Wait a minute.
Personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's.
Hold on.
What now?
Clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike those words.
What you just said.
And the look on Jamie Raskin's face is like, oh my god, he didn't. Because everybody, hey, he's like, oh my god, I can't believe she said that, but also, oh my god, that's funny as shit. That's funny as shit.
I'm not gonna do this. Look, you guys. Earlier, literally just
you just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down. No.
Ooh, that's what she messed up there too.
So I'm trying to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Miss
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your yelling.
You don't want
calm
me
down.
To be,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
out
about her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, man. If I come and talk shit about her, y'all gonna have a problem. And so, yeah, man, again, that goes back like to what I said, man, like there's this thing where like they can say these sort of shits against people, especially folks on the left. They thinking like they expect people on the left to be high-minded all the time. They expect people on the left to be like, we're going to be above it. Right. And I know that, former First Lady Michelle Obama, every time something like this happens, every time people pull out that old statement that she made at I believe it was a 2020 Democratic National Committee like meeting or something like that, National Convention, and people like when they go low, we go high. And everybody was like, nah, bitch, we ain't going high. We going to the ground on them. We going we get it, man. A lot of y'all ain't really going to the ground on them. This is one of the few opportunities where somebody actually did, meet them with the same amount of, vitriolic energy that they were being met with. But it's also one of those things where I saw in how this was being covered on in the media was as if both of these people, as if Jasmine Crockett is just as wrong as Marjorie Taylor Greene in defending herself, right? Like, yeah, because, and I get it. They like, yeah, this is Congress and we're supposed to have higher standards for our Congress people. And, they're supposed to have the decorum. But when you have one active person in Congress who hasn't really accomplished much in other than being a bombastic attention getter, who's always attacking other people, you can only expect for people to tolerate that, but for so long a time. Right. And so I think at this particular time, Jasmine Crockett had just reached her fucking breaking point. Like, all right, bitch, let's go there. You want to go there? Let's go there. Right. Because she didn't have to say anything about Jasmine Crockett's eyelashes. Right. Like, and just as much as she didn't have to interject as to who is paying Judge Merchan's daughter for consulting fees or whatever the fuck it was that she was bringing up, right? That had absolutely nothing to do with the context of what the meeting was supposed to be about. And so I just thought it was interesting how the media was looking at it, was framing this as if both sides were like, this is a both sides issue. No, it's not a both sides issue. One side consistently does this, and the other side is expected to be above it. Oftentimes, folks get tired of being above it. You get tired of being above it. And they're also getting tired of the expectation that they should be above it, especially when this is constantly being meted out on one side, right? And that's one of the things that I've been noticing about just how we talk about politics is that, you got folks on the right who say all sorts of incendiary, bombastic things. And then, folks on the left are just supposed to play nice, and then on top of it, they get criticized for being nice. Democrats don't know how to win, man. The Democrats are always about, they thinking they believe in the good in people and all this other stuff. Nah, man, you got to grab a motherfucker by the neck. Okay, and then when they grab a motherfucker by the neck, oh, man, you got to be above that, man. You can't be out here acting like that, man. You can't be acting like that, man. You did them the satisfaction. Sometimes they're not expecting you to come. Like, it's almost like when a bully keeps fucking with you and they don't expect you to do nothing. And then one day you just take your motherfucking books and knock his ass right across the goddamn head. And now he's realizing, oh, shit, I might not have wanted this at all. I might have been fucking with the wrong one, right? He might have just been he might have been sparing me. I'm thinking I'm doing something to him. He might have been sparing me, and now I'd have woke the beast up in this little motherfucker, and now he on my ass, and I can't get him off of me, right? And I think that's something to be said here is that that asymmetrical way in which we expect people to respond to rhetoric being directed their way. This was a classic display of it, where we expect right-wing folk to say crazy shit, but we also expect people on the left to be above the shit. But then when people on the left actually meet these motherfuckers where they are, suddenly we're appalled that the left-wing person actually met this person where they were. Now, obviously, like with the title of this show, Bardi, bad boy, bleach blonde, bad built butch body. I want you. That's gonna be a game, man. I want y'all to try to say that shit 3 times fast, like real talk, because that's crazy alliteration, man. Real talk. But yeah, man, that shit happened at the House in the Oversight Committee. I don't know if anybody had that shit on their bingo card, but goddamn, I got some chuckles out of that one. I ain't gonna lie, man. I got some chuckles out of that shit, especially baby girl. Oh my god, like she hit with the baby girl. Shout out to AOC, man. Because she was really feeling the Bronx coming out of that. And that one, that shit was funny to me, man. Real talk. Now, yeah, before we get out of here, I got one more story, man. We're going to get into this before I got to get out of here. But, yo, man, so Cardi B says that says she went on, I believe it was Rolling Stone, and told the folks that she is not going to be voting. Nigga! Yeah, man. So let me pull this story up and see what the hell. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Before we move on to that, there was a song. Because, of course, black folks are great. And black folks are great. But there was a song about this shit that happened in Congress. So I'm going to play this a little bit so you guys can hear a little bit of this. Yeah, I want to play that for y'all, man, but it keeps cutting out, man. But yo, man, shout out to King Balonius on Instagram, man. He made up this song, man. Go check out this song on Instagram, man. It's hilarious how quickly motherfucker. I think AI has a lot to do with this shit too. But yo, man, if people are gonna be using AI for shit like this, I'm for it, man. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I ain't gonna even lie to you. But yeah, man, let's get back to the the thing at hand, which is Cardi B saying that she's not going to be voting in this coming election. And so we get the story here. This comes out of MSNBC. It says that rapper Cardi B, who notably endorsed President Joe Biden in the 2020 election, said that she's not voting for either presidential candidate this year. In an interview with Rolling Stone published Thursday, Cardi says she felt that layers and layers of disappointment under the Biden administration and is upset about the United States' destructive role in foreign affairs. I feel like people got betrayed, Cardi said of Biden. It's just like, damn, y'all not caring about nobody. Then it really gets me upset that there there's solutions to it. There is a solution. I know there's a solution because you're spending billions of dollars on any fucking thing. She also says she was concerned about artists of color getting blackballed for talking about Israel's assault on Gaza. America don't pay for endless wars for countries that have been going through shit for a long time. She said there's countries where kids are getting killed every day, but because the U.S. won't benefit from that country, they won't help. I don't like that America has a superhero cape on. We never did things to be superheroes. We did things for our own convenience. Cardi has weighed in on politics over the years, speaking candidly about the candidates and her political priorities. She threw her support behind Biden in the 2020 general election after initially endorsing Bernie Sanders in the same Democratic primary. I want a president who makes me feel secure, she said at the time. I want a president who understands the pain of the people. I want a president who is going to give us answers. On an Instagram live stream in November, she publicly criticized Biden over the United States' continued military aid to Ukraine and Israel, while Americans struggled at home, vowing not to endorse any presidential candidate in the future. She reiterated her disgust with both Biden and presumptive nominee Donald Trump in her interview with Rolling Stone. I don't fuck with both of y'all, she said. Now, here's the thing, man. You guys know, if you listen to me for any length of time, you guys know I'm a very big proponent of voting, right? Of voting, like not letting your voice not go unheard in the political process. And oftentimes I do take issue with people with large platforms who go out of their way to let everybody know that they're not voting, right? And the reason why I have an issue with it is because, I feel as though it's their way of telling other folks to not vote. Now, she might not have said that explicitly, but that's something that, a lot of celebrities don't have to say anything explicitly for their fans to kind of follow suit, because their fans love them so much that they are oftentimes trying to connect with them as people, right? And so they'll fall in line and oftentimes do some of the things that they're the people that they idolize. They'll do some of the same things that they do. And so I'm one of those folks who feel as though, yeah, okay, Cardi, you don't have to go vote. That's your right. Don't go vote if you don't want to go vote. However, you could have did that and not told anybody, right? And you could have went about your day. You could have said, you know what, fuck it, I'm not voting, and nobody had to know that you weren't going to vote. But when you decide to publicize that you weren't going to vote, now you pretty much kind of activated some other people who might have been thinking about voting to say that, nah, I'm not going to vote. Now, it's not to say that it's Cardi B's responsibility to get people to the polls, right? She's a private citizen. Yeah, she has a large platform. She's a private citizen. These people have to make decisions for themselves, right? Much the same way that I got to make a decision for me, these other people got to make decisions for themselves. However, like I said, I do believe that there are going to be a good number of people who, because they idolize Cardi B, are going to follow suit with Cardi B. Now, the other thing that I think is interesting about this attitude about like just becoming apathetic, because we know apathy only helps one way, really. And it's for the people who have eyes on marginalizing you even further. They've said this repeatedly. As a matter of fact, let me go back to something that I talked to you guys about some time ago. Let me pull this video up so you guys can. Let's go back to something that we played a while ago, and and this is part of the reason why I think that what Cardi B, even though she says she's not going to vote, and she has her reasons why, but this is part of the reason why I believe it's foolhardy to kind of promote that sort of attitude. And we go back to Paul Weyrich in 1980. This was what he had to say.
Many of our Christians have what I call the goo-goo syndrome. Good government. They want everybody to vote. I don't want everybody to vote. Elections are not won by a majority of people. They never have been from the beginning of our country, and they are not now. As a matter of fact, our leverage in the elections, quite candidly, goes up as the voting populace goes down.
Our election leverages goes up as the voting populace goes down. So there's a concerted effort by those on the right wing to not get you to go to the polls, because they understand that they represent a minority view in this country, and that if the vast majority of people did take their asses to the polls, a lot of the things that are happening right now would not be happening, because they wouldn't have had the legislative ability to do so, right? And so when I hear people like Cardi B saying that, like, yeah, I don't want to vote for either Joe Biden or Donald Trump, understand that unfortunately the way that our system is built at the moment, you have a binary choice. It's either Joe Biden, it's either Donald Trump, and you have to make the choice as to which one of these would help further the causes that you care about. right? Doesn't mean that they're going to get everything on your wish list, because none of them are. None of them are. But understand that, like, the choice that you make to not vote, not only does it negate any criticism that you have, because you could have contributed to this conversation, but you decided not to. You decided to opt out. And oftentimes what I find with people who decide to opt out is that they want to feel as though they're above it, right? There's this false superiority in that, hey, I didn't vote for either one of these motherfuckers, so y'all can't blame me. It's like, nah, okay, so you felt privileged enough to where you didn't even have to participate in the process, right? There's a lot of I remember that song, Macklemore came out with the song and he was telling people he's not voting for Joe Biden, right? And yeah, okay, so forget everything that, black people might be fighting for. Forget everything that the LGBTQ community might be fighting for. Forget everything that the Palestinians in this country might be fighting for. Despite the fact that many of those Palestinians may feel as though Joe Biden is not a friend to them at this particular moment, you better believe Donald Trump damn sure is not a friend to them in this very moment. Donald Trump's own son-in-law is talking about the Gaza Strip being beachfront property for them to develop. They will wipe those Palestinians off of the face of the earth, right? Now, we've seen some marginal changes in the ways in which the Biden administration is what's the word that I'm looking for here, is engaging with the Israelis and how they're conducting that war. I believe there was a shipment of weapons that they decided they were not going to send over there, as they don't agree with some of the ways in which the Israeli government is going about this war. And a lot of that has to do with some of the protests that are happening on these college campuses, and a lot of the voting uncommitted in some of the primaries. Like, I get it. Like, they got the attention of the Biden administration, and in that happening, there have been not only attempts at a ceasefire, but there's also been the curtailing of weapons being sent over to the Middle East, right? That doesn't happen with Donald Trump. Donald Trump wouldn't give a fuck. And so not voting, oftentimes, and I heard this, my man Rod said this, and I think he said it and it kind of articulated it in a way that I had been looking for, but I hadn't even it didn't really click for me in that way. But he said basically, what does not vote? How does not voting further advance the causes that that you care about? How does that advance the causes that you care about by not voting? Right? And oftentimes I think, like, when people think of the things that are happening now, they don't think about the things that happened before that set the stage for these things to happen now. Right? Like, think for instance, some of the things that, people feel, she said people feel betrayed, like, student loan forgiveness. Although a lot of people have been getting student loan forgiveness over the past, I want to say year and a half or so, because of some of the machinations that the Biden administration have been able to kind of pull out. But they forget that, yeah, it was a Supreme Court that blocked the full scale canceling of student loan forgiveness for everybody, right? It was a Supreme Court, and a lot of the folks on the Supreme Court were appointed by Donald Trump, right? Those same judges appointed by Donald Trump are the ones who have eroded women's right to choose for their own bodies. Those same Supreme Court justices have gotten rid of affirmative action. Those same Supreme Court justices have backed cases where, or not even so much the Supreme Court, but have backed the blockage of government aid to black farmers, right? So a lot of that didn't happen immediately. There was a delayed action, or better yet, a delayed conclusion to some of the decisions that were made during the prior administration. And so I think oftentimes, because these things are happening now, it's all the Biden fault. It's all the Biden administration's fault. Now, sure enough, the Biden administration could have been more receptive to some of these criticisms about the way that they've been handling the Gaza Strip and the ways in which we've been kind of unequivocally attached to the Israeli government, right? And I think to a large part, the right wing has been very effective in how they message a lot of this shit. And like I've said before, there's been a lot of charges of anti-Semitism in regards to how people talk about the Israeli war in Gaza. And, people tend to conflate criticism of the Israeli government with the Israeli people, and saying that because you criticize the Israeli government, you're being anti-Semitic, which is bullshit. which is bullshit. I don't have to agree with what their government is doing in order to I don't have to agree with what their government is doing. And my criticism of what their government is doing does not make me anti-Semitic. I don't hate any of those folk. So, I agree that when it comes to that, when it comes to that war, the Biden administration could have been very much more open to not being so unequivocal in their support of the Israeli government. We understand that they were attacked, but at the same time, the disproportionate level of the response to that attack is what has really got people up in arms across the world, right? But like I said, going back into what Cardi B has been saying about, well, I'm not going to vote for anybody because she's disillusioned by some of the decisions. Again, you got to understand, like, these, not only do you have the charge to vote, but then you also have the charge to hold those people who you voted for accountable while they're in office. And also, just because you voted doesn't mean the fight stops there. That's just the first step. There are other things that you need to do in order to hold those people that you voted for accountable. And if they don't do what you want them to do, then yeah, you vote them out, or you don't vote, you withhold your vote. But also understand, with withholding your vote or not, or voting for someone else, understand what that could mean going forward, right? And how, and being strategic in what that means for your causes, what that means going forward, your causes going forward, right? So I hope that Cardi B fully understands what she is advocating right now when she says that she's not going to vote, and what that could possibly mean for the causes that she says she cares about. I do. And I think that anybody who opts to not vote, or anybody who is actively telling other folks to not vote, yeah, you're telling these people to cut off their noses to spite their faces because they're unhappy right now. Think about what that could mean for these folks in the future. And what do you have planned for them in the event that something that they did not want and don't really want coming down the pike as a result of the choices that they made today? Because that's the thing. We all have a choice. Are you ready for the result of those choices at the end of the day? All right. But yeah, man, we gonna get on up out of here. I got some things to do, man. I will be at the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner tonight. I got some family things I got to do today, and so your man Spann has a full plate of activities on his plate today. But before we get out of here, I do have to remind you guys how to get in touch with us here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and let your voice be heard. Go ahead and hit up that hotline at area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Leave those voicemail messages. Of course, those messages will get read here, we'll play it here live on the show and responded to in kind. You can also email us here at feedback@thespannreport.com. That's feedback@thespannreport.com. Go ahead, leave us those emails, and of course those emails will get read here and replied to here live as well. Follow me on Threads, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Spill. My name on all of those platforms is Mr._Spann. So go ahead, follow me there, chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. Also, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and or Spotify. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get read here live on the show. We really appreciate everybody who does that. Doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network in its entirety. And also, man, if you want to copy yourself some merch, hit us up on our TeePublic store at teepublic.com. Search up the Spann Report Podcast Network over there. The link will be in the show notes, and copy yourself some merch. Make yourself a t-shirt. It's getting a little warm outside. I believe we're supposed to get 88 degrees here in the Detroit area. So yeah, man, we got that going on. And yeah, man, copy yourself some of that merch. We really appreciate everybody who does that. But yo, it is about time for me to get on up out of here. I will talk to you guys again soon. But until next time, fam, peace.